G'day Pickleball family. First thing to know, as shared on thedinkpickleball.com, Annalee Waters banks another triple while line calls create tension at PPA Atlanta Slam by author Eric Tice. The PPA Atlanta Slam dodged weather all week and witnessed plenty of upsets throughout, but some things remain the same. Annalee Waters, ALW, pulled out another triple crown. Rain caused delays and forced play indoors throughout the week. As the sport continues to grow, having these indoor alternatives for every event will be even more important. The PPA staff was able to move players and fans inside and back outside whenever possible. Staff always erred on the side of caution, going inside whenever any player thought the outdoor conditions were unplayable. It was all hands on deck as new UPAA president Jason Aspis was seen blowing off the courts in order to dry them for play. Ben and Colin Johns go down in the semis. For the second straight tournament, Ben and Colin Johns lost in the semi-finals of men's doubles. 3 weeks ago, they lost to Gabe Tardio and Andre Doescu, being pickled in the third game at the PPA Red Rock Open. This week in Atlanta, Colin and Ben were able to exact some revenge on Tardio and Doescu, beating them 11-7, 11-5 in the quarterfinals. That's when they ran into a buzzsaw. The new team of Matt Wright and Federico Staksrud ran over Colin and Ben 11-5, 11-3. Staksrud and Wright were gritty, chaotic, and extremely offensive. Wright did his usual chirping throughout, but both Ben and Colin looks like they were kind of lost throughout the match. A rare sight indeed. The knock on the Johns brothers has been, if you get them early, you might have a chance, and Caden Nemeth and Arnik Lahani proved that, taking the Johns to 3 games. Colin and Ben barely squeaked that one out, 11-0, 7-11, 12-10. Are these two semi-final upsets of the Johns brothers an anomaly, or could the field be catching up to them more consistently? Another triple crown for ALW. Annalee Waters proved that some time off in April was beneficial. When ALW is fresh and has a ton of positive energy, it's very tough stopping her. She registered her 5th triple crown of the year in Atlanta. In singles, she was down early in both games against Paris Todd in the finals, coming back from 0-4 in both games. Her mental fortitude is second to none. In women's W's, ALW and Catherine Parento, CP, are continuing to show that they are the undisputed number 1 women's doubles team in the world. They beat Coop Kawamoto 11-9, 11-2, 11-8. The second best team, Rachel Rohrbacher and Anna Bright, missed a medal for just the second time in 2024. In mixed, Ben Johns and Annalee have only lost once in the last year, and that was to Anna Bright and Andre Doescu at PPA Austin. Even though the doubles matches are best of 3 out of 5, ALW never seems to lose focus and is consistently at the top of her game. Line calls continue to be a problem. In one of the most heated women's doubles matches I have seen in a while, line calls became a huge issue late in the match between Jade Kawamoto, Andrea Coop, and Leah Jansen, Callie Smith. The match took over an hour after having to move indoors due to inclement weather. With no video challenges available at the indoor part of the venue, not much could be done about the calls made. At 6-3 in the third, Andrea Coop called a ball out that both Leah Jansen and Callie Smith called in. With no challenges, Jansen became visibly upset and said, "You're the biggest hook in pickleball, my goodness," referring to Coop. A few minutes later, the broadcast showed 2 other angles of the controversial call made by Coop, both clearly showing the ball in. Finally, at 11-10 in the third game, Coop and Kawamoto made a controversial line call on a Jansen volley to win the match. With no way of challenging the call and without either referee being able to overturn the call, Jansen and Smith lost the match on 2 very controversial line calls. Afterward, Jansen went over to the Kawamoto bench and fist bumped Jade and then exchanged some heated words, with Coop not shaking hands and walking off. Line calls were also an issue at MLP, Major League Pickleball Atlanta, with the Ranchers and Dallas Flash having some line call issues late in the match. But since it wasn't televised, there were no challenges in that match either. Since line calls have become an issue this year, here are some potential fixes. Short-term solutions: ensure all quarterfinals and beyond are televised and video challenges are available. Whenever this isn't possible, bring a total of 9 referees to each of those matches. 1 head referee, 1 second referee, 1 tracking referee, and 4 line judges. Same thing as above for all Major League Pickleball matches. Long-term solution: the UPA must invest in better camera technology within the next year or 2. The video replay system as it stands isn't able to slow down enough to show exactly where the ball is hitting compared to the lines. This isn't as easy as it sounds because the PPA, MLP are constantly moving facilities, venues, and each one is set up differently. Fans cite the production quality of the Arizona Pickleball League as an example of a great replay system, which it is. However, they have the luxury of always being in the same place week in and week out, which makes a huge difference. J.W. Johnson and Dylan Frazier earn their 6th win in 24. This is the second men's doubles win for JW and Dylan after the PPA Red Rock Open a few weeks ago. They also have 3 wins on the APP Tour, but they are now exclusively signed PPA MLP players. Additionally, they won the US Open in April as well. Frazier and Johnson beat the new team of Stacksrud and Wright in the finals in 4 games, 4-11, 11-3, 11-7, 11-5. On their way to the finals, Frazier and Johnson beat number 6 seed Connor Garnett, Christian Olshon in 3 games, and number 5 seed Tyson McGuffin, Deckel Barr in 2 games. Are they the flashiest duo on tour? Not even close. Baby Dylan and JW are super consistent dinkers, great third shot makers, and have the heaviest counters on tour. Their only Achilles heel seems to be playing the Johns brothers. Otherwise, they are nearly unstoppable. Even with all of that, they keep adding to their game, with Dylan slowly becoming an elite offensive dinker at the kitchen line. JW has started to speed up a little more off the bounce as well. Keep looking for these two to be playing on Championship Sunday for the foreseeable future. The final results in all divisions at the PPA Atlanta were as follows. Women's singles: first, Annalie Waters; second, Paris Todd; third, Salome DeVitze. Men's singles: first, Ben Johns; second, Federico Stacksrud; third, Christian Olshon. Mixed doubles: first, Annalie Waters, Ben Johns; second, Anna Bright, James Ignatowicz; third, Georgia Johnson, J.W. Johnson. Women's doubles: first, Catherine Parento, Annalie Waters; second, Jade Kawamoto, Andrea Coop; third, Leah Jansen, Callie Smith. Mixed doubles: Dylan Frazier, J.W. Johnson; second, Matt Wright, Federico Stacksrud; third, Deckel Barr, Tyson McGuffin. Thanks ever so much for making it this far into the update. Please be sure to hit subscribe and like, comment, and rate on the platform you're watching or listening to it on, so this and future episodes can be found by and shared with other fellow pickleballers. Second thing to know, also shared on thedinkpickleball.com, the French Open is making room for pickleball. The French Open will be held from May 26 through June 9 on the famed red clay of Roland Garros. And during that time, tennis fans in attendance will be given a chance to watch pickleball played on the North Forecourt of Philippe Chatrier Court. During the final 4 days of the tournament, another pickleball court will be set up on Court 5. This continues the recent incorporation of pickleball by the French Tennis Federation, FTF, the governing body for tennis in France. According to a recent press release, the FTF said spectators at Roland Garros will be able to discover and get a taste of pickleball, a racket sport from the United States that is becoming increasingly popular in France and Europe. This discipline, which has recently been incorporated into the FTF's regulations, is not just fun to play, but very accessible. There's even a mention of the FTF launching their own pickleball license for the 2024-2025 season. What this means remains to be seen, but with pickleball continuing to grow, it would be smart to hop on the bandwagon soon or risk missing it altogether. Nadal is expected to be there. Rafael Nadal, who has recently been struggling due to persistent injuries, is expected to make an appearance, perhaps his last, at the major championship. He has won a record 14 times. It would be amazing to see Nadal on a pickleball court swinging forehands at pickleballs after his tennis career ends. Maybe the powers that be can get him onto court 5 during those last 4 days. While it would be enjoyable to poke fun at big tennis finally giving up its fight against big pickle, it's quite exciting to see this type of collaboration between the sports. With so much internal bickering and infighting happening now with pickleball, maybe a truce between the tennis and pickleball communities is in everyone's best interests. Third thing to know, also shared on thedinkpickleball.com, San Francisco wants to charge to reserve its pickleball courts. Want to play on a public court in San Francisco? Then you might just have to pony up in the very near future. At least this is what the SF, Recreation and Park Department, voted on unanimously recently as they aim to combat the overpopulation of courts and the conflict it causes. Up until now, public tennis and pickleball courts have been free for players to reserve, but due to overbooking, the change from free to a $5 per hour fee has been determined necessary across 28 of the 66 locations the department oversees. The remaining 38, they say, will remain first come, first serve. Any reservation system, especially a free one, always has to deal with late cancellations or no-shows. To combat this, the department is offering partial refunds for those who reserve early and try to cancel ahead of their booked court time. The initiative must be approved by the San Francisco Board of Supervisors to take effect. Will other municipalities follow suit? It'll be interesting to see if this new fee solves some of the issues the department has run into or causes more headaches than it's worth. If it succeeds, it wouldn't be shocking to see a similar system created in parks across the US. Paddles up.